Tonight, Rockline is very proud to be in Seattle, home of longtime Rockline affiliate KISW, to give you the opportunity to speak with Eddie Vedder and Jeff Ament of hometown heroes Pearl Jam. So get your questions ready for the guys and call us toll-free at 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. One number toll-free from anywhere in the United States, Canada, and tonight, Australia. It would be very tempting to wax endlessly about the multi-platinum success of Pearl Jam in the 2 years since the release of 10, the sellout concerts, the massive radio play, the MTV Awards, the band of the 90s, etc. But it would seem that that's not really what this band is all about. Pearl Jam is about the music and perhaps the people who listen to it versus the hype, the publicity, the videos, and the adoration. So let me just simply say that tonight we offer the broadcast premiere of Pearl Jam's second album. It's called Versus. It will be in the stores tomorrow. The Pearl Jam tour starts October 28th at the Warfield Theater in San Francisco, and it is a true pleasure to welcome back to Rockline lead vocalist Eddie Vedder. Yo, Eddie, how are you?
You're going to have to call me Mr. Vedder.
Mr. Vedder this evening.
This is a big night.
And also to
I'd like some respect.
There you go. To his first Rockline appearance tonight, bass guitarist Jeff Ament. Hi, Jeff.
How are you?
Good to have you guys here. Congratulations on the new record. When you did 10, the band had very few live performances at that point going into the recording of that album. How do you think 2 years of touring affected the recording of Versus?
It took us less takes to actually record the songs this time around. That was one huge thing.
We're professionals now.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Vedder. Does it bring? Did you record the album live? Was it actually going into to a room and setting up and playing, or was it?
It was all one take, actually. We did many days where we'd play the whole album all the way through. Just every day we'd play the whole record all the way through. And then after about a dozen days,
we picked the best day.
We picked the best day.
Really?
It was a Wednesday, actually.
It was a Wednesday. Well, it certainly sounds like you picked the best day, as the folks will hear tonight. The album takes off like a shot with the first track, and I think this was one of the first tracks you wrote or recorded, perhaps, for Versus.
I have no recollection.
It could be, and then again, perhaps not, but we're going to check it out right now. From the new album Versus, this is Pearl Jam and Go on Rockline. Let's Go from the brand new album, the first track off the new album by Pearl Jam, Versus on Rockline, the only national radio show that gives you the chance to talk to the biggest names in rock and roll. Tonight is certainly proof of that. We're in Seattle live with Eddie and Jeff from Pearl Jam, so now's the time to get on the phone and call our toll-free AT&T number at 1-800-344-ROCK. That's We are back with a very special Rockline tonight, live from Seattle, and it's time to welcome a brand new station into the Rockline family. Joining us tonight for the very first time are the folks listening to us up in Canada on CHTM in Thompson, Manitoba. We look forward to hearing from you folks tonight and every Monday night. And also joining us tonight, we will be broadcasting all the way to Australia via the Triple M network as part of their Rocktober celebration, and we hope to hear from some folks down under this evening. Eddie and Jeff are in the studio here, and we're going to go to the calls right now. We go to Appleton, Wisconsin, to Andy, listening to us on WAPL in Appleton. Andy, say hello to Eddie and Jeff. You're on Rockline with Pearl Jam.
Hi, Eddie. Hi, Jeff.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Pretty good. I was wondering, did knowing each other's musical style make it easier to record the new album?
The new album?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we know each other better now. Because we didn't know each other very well before.
Yeah, I think it probably helped.
Maybe it's good to play with people you don't know. We played with some musicians that we had never picked up instruments together before. The other night, it was one of the greatest things I'd ever heard. You should play with strangers. You should play with friends. You just play. That's the key. But did it make this one easier? I don't know. The songs, if you can write a good song, that's what makes it easy. You got to play to the song,
Thank you, Andy, for the call. We're going to take it to Worcester, Massachusetts now. Listening to us on WAAF 107.3 is Cindy, calling from Townsend, Massachusetts. Cindy, you're on Rockline.
Townsend, Massachusetts.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Eddie.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I was just wondering why you decided to release Versus on vinyl a week before you released it on the CD.
Viva la vinyl.
I think
Do you have a record player, Cindy?
Pardon?
Do you have a record player?
Yes, I do.
So you use it and stuff still?
Yep.
Because, not all records come out on vinyl anymore. A lot of stores don't carry vinyl anymore.
And our first record didn't come out in vinyl, so I think that might have had something to do with actually being in a position to make sure that it came out in vinyl this time. And it sounds way better. If you A-B your CD player next to your record player...
A-B means you listen to one then the other.
Oh, okay.
And if you do that, you'll find that records sound a lot warmer and more human.
They're cooler to hold in your hands, too. And they smell. They have a smell. If you go in an old used record store, it smells.
Like books.
Where the new record stores with just the CDs, they don't really smell.
Smells like chemicals.
They just stink.
Yeah. You can see the album artwork a lot better, too, because it's a lot bigger,
And what are they going to do, like when these Scoopmans, these new digital micro cassettes are the main format? What are they going to do?
Well, by that time, no one will pay attention to lyrics. You won't need to print them.
Right.
Now, let's hope that doesn't happen. Cindy, thanks for the call. We're going to take it down south to Rock 105 in Charleston, West Virginia. We have Sean listening to us there. Is that Lucia, Kentucky, Sean?
That's Louisa.
Louisa, okay. You're on Rockline.
Hey, guys. How would you best describe the music on your new album?
We wouldn't. We'd listen to it. Or tell you to listen, I don't know. How would you describe it? Have you heard it?
No, I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, well, someday you'll be able to describe it, or at least try. Music, it's weird. That's the strange thing about doing interviews and talking about it, because, that's why that's why we picked a beautiful art form like music. All your thoughts and emotion, they come out much clearer and much more intense, when coupled with music, All this talk about it, shouldn't be so much talk. It's people act like they know about all these bands, but it's just from what they read. They don't even really listen to them anymore, and they take everyone's word. Whatever's printed, it seems like gospel. I don't know. Your interpretation is the most important one.
And whenever I try to explain like a record that I really, really like to somebody, like if I just bought a record, like the new Liz Phair record, like if I was gonna explain what it sounded like, I can never really explain it. I always end up getting kind of caught up in stuttering something, and then I just go, well, just go buy it because it's really cool.
Yeah. By the way, you'll be able to do that tomorrow. The CD and the cassette will be in the stores. So.
Or tonight at midnight,
Tonight,
Steve.
12:01. Missoula.
The East Coast, maybe they're just waiting for minutes right now.
That's very true. And in Australia, it could already be out because it's already tomorrow. But thank you, Sean, for the call. We're going to take another call now in Orlando, Florida. Listening to us on Rock 100 WDIZ is Chris. You're on with Eddie and Jeff from Pearl Jam. Chris.
Eddie, Jeff, good to talk to you tonight.
Hey.
Yeah, you're not a racist, are you?
Not at all. My question was, what kind of pressure, if any, did you get from CBS this time around? Did they harp on you guys at all? And also, how hard is it to keep your creative, authority within the band? Like, I know you got probably different people saying, you should release this as a single, or how hard is it to keep creative control?
There's no problem with it at all. We haven't heard a thing from a record company other than how nice we are and how good we are and all those sorts of things.
Do you think we'd really listen to somebody else's opinion?
There's enough opinions in this band.
How about you? If you were making a record, would you let them kind of pick the artwork or tell you what song it would be?
That's why I like you guys so much, because I definitely believe that what comes out is from the heart.
That's the exciting thing about being in a band or making music or playing live on any level, is you have it's all yours. You're independent of anybody, and